Hi folks, back again, Bathrobe Chronicles number 155. This is somewhat a rehash of some that I've done previously, but by the way, I think it's September 20th, 2010, Tuesday, delightful day, weather up here is perfect, but anyway, getting away from the subject. Lindsay Lohan, I'm sure you guys know about Lindsay Lohan. In fact, I had a segment on her a few months ago. And basically what I was complaining about was that her medical information and stuff was really, out there for the public to see. And also had some whack job psychiatrists and psychologists who said they might need to spend a half a day with her to decide what kind of treatment plan would be appropriate, which is patently absurd. But Lindsay's back in the news. And unfortunately for Lindsay, and she fessed up, she failed the drug test. Now, my question isn't about whether she failed the drug test, which even she fessed up to it, or what should happen to her since she did fail it, since she's on probation. But here's my question. Should the courts be allowed to order treatment? In other words, when I get caught with a DUI, or I get caught with crack in my pocket, or a joint, or whatever, should the court be able to say, George, you're going to do 30 days in jail, then you're going to go to rehab for 3 months, or 6 months, or 12 years, or whatever, and you're going to come back here every week, and you're going to give a urine sample, and if it's positive, we're going to put you back in jail, blah, 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 blah. Should a court be allowed to do that? That's the question. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. I think that the court shouldn't be involved in forcing someone into rehab. Number one, the court most likely has not a bit of an idea what rehab even means or what rehab is, number one. Number two, if rehab were able to solve this person's problems, well, I would be more inclined to go along with the court saying, hey gosh, George, you screwed up, this is your third time, go to rehab and you'll be okay. But folks, that's not the way rehab works, and anybody who's been there or knows anything about it knows that. The second thing is almost all rehabs, in fact I would say close to 100%, in fact I would most likely say 100% of any court-ordered rehabs are going to be the 12-step program, which I've ranted and raved about that before. And if you do a search out there, you'll find that some courts have actually said that AA, or 12-step, is nothing more than a religion. And this was, a couple of suits were brought by prisoners who were forced to go through this stuff, and the court said, no, you can't do that because you're forcing a prisoner to go to religion, and you can't do that. So, where was I? I guess I'm right back where I was. It's just like sometimes if a person is declared not guilty because of mental illness or whatever. In other words, let's say I assault someone and harm them, and let's say I have a mental illness, whatever that means. Sometimes what a court will say is, gosh, you did this, but you were not guilty because you're insane. And then what you can do to that person is you can lock that person up, most likely for the rest of their natural life if you want, under some circumstances. So what you have is you have someone who's committed a violation that may have gotten them 30 days in jail, or 60 days in jail, or 6 months in jail, but in lieu of that, they're giving up their rights possibly for the rest of their lives. Now, I'm being a little, what's the word here? I'm not sure. Maybe that's not a good example, but I think you're getting what I'm saying. That is, you've taken this mentally ill person, and now instead of letting them serve a normal sentence like normal people, you're going to have them under the state's control, maybe forever. I mean, I don't know. It depends on the state, I'm sure. But getting back to the original thing, what should we do when someone comes before a court and they've had crack, or smoking marijuana, or have a DUI or something? Should the court be allowed to do anything other than sentence them to jail or prison? I mean, should the court have the right to force this person to go to some rehab program, to force them to go in there and listen to the 12-step stuff all day? Should the court be able to do that? I don't know. I don't think so, actually. But, I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to force me to go. rehab. Of course, I wouldn't want anybody to force me into jail either. But in all seriousness, you know, for no other crimes do we do this. You know, if you commit like a burglary or whatever, you don't go to like burglary school or burglary rehab or something like that. If you're found in possession of a gun, you're not supposed to have a gun, you don't go to like gun rehab. So what's unique about this? Yeah, I know it's a disease. That's what some folks say. So I guess that's what separates it. I do know in our town they do have, I believe it's referred to as drug court. And depending upon what you were doing and the violation, the severity of it, and things like that, you know, then they move you through this process where you're getting, you know, getting urine samples every week and so on and so forth, and you have probation officers and on and on and on. But I guess the question is should that be an option for a judge to do that, or are we sort of overstepping the bounds of what we do? Even if they're doing it with good intentions, and I'm not saying their intentions aren't laudable and their intentions aren't good, and I'm not saying they aren't trying to help people. That's not the point. The point is, should they be able to do it? Should they be able to force someone to go to listen to 12 steps all day? Come on. Anyway, that's it. And as Pat Condell would say, watch out there because you don't want to go to rehab. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.